Hi guys, this is Ten Curtain J. I am starting a new video series, just going to be documenting some of the games I've played over the last few weeks. Maybe I'll even go back last couple of months. The point of the series is to not highlight my games I've played really well or to look back on the games I played badly. I just want to show the games that I've been playing recently as I try to improve. Just so you guys know, I'm a chess player within Brisbane. I travel around a little bit for my chess, so I travel up to Redcliffe, I'll play down at the Gold Coast, and I'll play in Brisbane. Basically, anywhere there's a club, I usually try to have a game. And I'm my friends would describe me probably as a bit of an aggressive tactical player. Uh, Although someone said, "Oh, I've seen you play really nice positional games," but really, my rating truly reflects on the kind of stuff that I can come up with in my games. Unfortunately, I'm not that high rated compared to some of my other friends. I can have some nice games, but the one I've got for you today is one I played on Friday night, and it was an absolute shocker. I basically blundered on move on move 5. Everything went pear-shaped, and then I missed a win later on further down the track as I tried to hack him on the king side. Anyway, let's get into it. So, started out with e4. I'm an e4 player. I don't generally play d4. I don't really like it. I much prefer tactical situations. I play lots of king's gambits, play lots of open Sicilians. That's much more my jam. So e4, and my opponent then responds with g6. Boo. I don't like this at all. This is, I believe they call this the modern or the perk. I don't really know what to do with these kind of openings. I don't really learn anything going into it, especially other openings like, say, maybe the Caro-Kann as well, or I know a tiny bit of French defense stuff, but mainly I try to just hack those openings that I'm not really aware or confident of playing against. So I respond bishop c4, he goes bishop g7. Gee, I wonder what I could be threatening here. My opponent had a bit of a chuckle when he saw this, so he just responded e6. And generally in this opening, what the idea is, it's a common idea to just give away a pawn on d4, let the bishop take, gain a tempo with knight e2. When bishop retreats, then you just try to crash on the king side if you can, castle queen side, and your development's actually pretty good considering you've just given away that pawn. But for some reason I had an absolute brain melt, and after he played, and so I decided instead to play knight e2. Sorry, that's not the brain melt. Knight e2, opponent goes knight c6, and this is where everything goes terribly wrong because I just make a sick as blunder, knight to c3, allowing for just a fork, and I almost resigned here. Instead, I probably should have maybe castled, and after knight g7 he's going to castle. I just go rook d1, castles, d4, etc., d5, and this is alright to play. I wouldn't have minded to play this at all. But instead, going back, knight bc3, just terrible. Knight e5, forks out, losing a piece. Queen g3, I almost considered resigning, but I decided, because I had to give a friend a lift back home that night, I had to keep playing because he was obviously having a really good game. So I thought, oh, I'll keep going, see what I can come up with. The knight takes, I kick the knight b6, takes more space with d4, and he plays d5, and I was actually really happy at this point, but because I could play e5 and just hem in that bishop. But really, he's got so much, he could do basically anything. But the thing is, I was really surprised because my opponent just made so many mistakes. There was so many different moves he could have played, and I would have probably just resigned. He could have pushed um, f he could have pushed f6 maybe, or knight e7, and then knight f5 looked pretty nice. But he goes went knight e7 first, and then I decide, right, well, I've got to just try to hack him on the king side, so I go h4. When he saw this, he shook his head a little bit, and he just decided to castle, and I kind of, in my head, I was rubbing my hands together just because I thought, great, this is my chance to just continue pushing my own agenda. So hey, h5, why not? Why not, right? I was really expecting him to go knight f5, trying to kick this queen at some point, in which case I'd play queen h3 or queen h2. But instead, or he could have played f3, trying to dislodge that pawn. Now the h takes, knight takes, and I'm basically left with nothing. And I probably would have resigned there as well, but he goes instead a6. He went a6, and I was really surprised, and I didn't want my queen to get kicked, so I played queen h3. Makes another mistake pushing f5. His bishop's just locked in now. It's not going to be doing anything. It's not coming out at all. So I take the pawn, and I know I can gain that pawn back on h7. He really should have thought about taking with the pawn instead, but he made the mistake of taking back with the knight. So queen takes, king f7, and here I make a really nice blunder. I end up playing bishop h6, where clearly the move I should have played was instead rook h6, and white is actually winning at this point, because bishop is pinned. There's no real adequate way to defend that knight either. I mean, he's really forced to play. At this point in time, he's maybe, computer recommends he plays knight takes on e5, but after knight takes, pawn takes, and I'm getting it back, that bishop is still pinned. Queen's coming in with check, it's no good. If instead the knight, if he decides instead to retreat the knight, it's going to end up badly because my knight flies in, and it's just too many pieces. It's just, his king's not going to be able to escape. He needs them to play rook g8, and then I take on this pawn here, because the fact is after that it's going, it's going to be a force mate. Okay, so just jumping through that a little bit, there was all these, I saw these variations after the game, and I was just livid with myself that I missed all this stuff. So unfortunately I played instead bishop h6, where he just responds with guard, backing up that bishop, and then I make a really terrible blunder with knight g3, because this allows him to play the really nice knight f8, and my queen is trapped. Can't do anything there. Queen is trapped. So I cut my losses with queen takes, king took the queen, bishop exchange, and king takes, and I was so close to resigning here as well, but my mate has still had a long way to go in this game, and was putting up a really good fight against an NM of all people, so he was doing really well. So I decided, no, I've got to keep trying here. Knight h5 check, king goes to f7, and I castle queenside. Makes a bit of a mistake here. Really should have gotten his queen out and done more with her, but instead knight bd7. I really didn't think that was a good move at all. I play knight e2, trying to get my other knight into the game. He pushes c5, and now I thought, okay, well, sure, the game's going to end here. And then I had a really good think about this, because I need to activate all my pieces to have any chance of, well, doing anything that's just not going to be a loss. So I thought a while, and I came up with rook d3. I didn't mind the fact he'd take this pawn. He had a real good think about this for a while as well, because, I mean, the rook's going to get to the g file. He took anyway, rook g3, and then he plays knight g6. Now, after knight g6, I wanted to, I didn't want to see this pawn kicking the rook. So I played my h knight, because I also wanted the open h file. So I play h knight f4. Then knight df8. Defending that knight, just, I'm running out of play here. So I take on g6, and he takes on g6, and I missed a draw here. If I played rook check, he has to defend with king to g8. Otherwise, I gain that knight, and it's looking a little bit dicey for him. My rooks can penetrate to his back rank. And then I just play rook h6, that knight is pinned, and he's got nothing better to do than go back and forth. So king f7 and rook h7 check, it's going to go back and forth. But instead, made a mistake. I tried to push for a little bit more. I went, so knight g6, instead. Queen defends the knight. He really just wanted to trade off pieces here, I think. He just wanted me to take his knight, and then queen takes, and knight takes, and then king takes, and it's a rook against a rook and a bishop. He would have definitely liked his chances in that endgame. So here I play knight h3, king f8. Knight jumps into g5. I'm just hoping there's some kind of, I don't know, that he just puts his king into danger here. Knight f4, and I move my king, and that would be embarrassing to fork on e2, so king d1. Here, knight just retreats. He couldn't think of anything better to do. And this is the thing, although I played terribly, his queen hasn't done anything all game, and neither has this bishop over here, and neither has this rook over here. So I was just so surprised. Like, have a look at these two pieces here. They just haven't done anything. So even though I played terribly, I think he won because of my stuff-ups, not because he took the game from me. So, rook h6, and then after king g7, and I ended up playing rook g h3. I just about stopped bothering recording here because I couldn't come up with anything better to do. I think he played b5. Yep. Oh no, sorry. He took with the knight. f3. And yeah, so the recording stops here because I ended up resigning pretty shortly after because my mate unfortunately lost that game, and I thought, oh, finally I can go home and just forget about this train smash. But I did hack him at one point, but I really should have come up with rook h6 instead, but I played bishop h6. That was the pivotal moment I realized. Really, I should have never made this mistake. I mean, that was just woeful. I don't know what I was thinking with that move, but ultimately, the fact that I couldn't bring it back, because this was actually winning with this rook move to h6, because this knight, if he goes back, then you play knight f4, and it's just too many pieces attacking the king. It looks terrible. His queenside pieces are undeveloped. My bishop's going to come out at some point. The knight sack, you never know, might be on either d5 or e4. I'm not sure, but when I saw this afterwards, I was kicking myself driving home. It was just terrible. But anyway, that's that game done. Hope you guys had a good laugh at it. It really was a train smash. But next game, I promise I'll show you that'll be a bit better. I'll show you guys a win, because I'm planning to showcase my good and my bad. I don't want to just show the games where I've won and played well at. I also want to